Let's look at some simple picture study resources for busy moms. All right, guys, welcome back. I'm Laura Wilkie with Down Home with Lemon Pie, and I am so glad that you guys are here. It is Homeschool Fellowship Friday. This is the day that I share with you guys all things related to homeschool, and today I have resources. So it is exciting. This is actually video 2 of a 2-part series on picture study. If it's something that you have struggled with in the past, we kind of were there too, so I get it. I will link the last week's video in the description of this video because that was the one where I walk you through step by step how to do picture study, and it can be such a blessing in your home and so easy and doesn't take any time at all, maybe 10 minutes out of your whole day. And you don't even have to do it every day of the week. So it is a super good blessing, and I want you guys to go check that video out as well. But this one is all about those resources that we need as moms to make this a simple time in our homes, especially if you were not, you weren't raised with this kind of education. So learning about paintings and artists and things. So we are Charlotte Mason homeschoolers, but this also works with classical or with unit studies. However you are a homeschooler, I'm sure you can find this beneficial. So like I said, the other video is linked below. Okay, I have several resources here for you guys that we have used in the past, or ones that we have looked at using, or ones that we are using presently. I'm going to share the ones we're currently using at the end of the video, so stay tuned for that. So one of the first things we started using with our kiddos was the, they call them the Come Look With Me series. It's an art series for kids, and I love this series because it is done in a way that is so simple for kids to grasp. Okay, this was not the first one we used, but this is one of the first few things we did when they were in those early grades, and it worked with the whole family. There are several books in this series, and we got the one that pertained to what we were studying, but they have one about animals. They have all different ones. So we did the one that was about American art or American history or something. And they are so well done. They have a small little picture. You can just hold it open and you can talk about that painting or picture. And it has all the stuff that you're going to talk about right there on the side page. And then at the bottom, it has a few questions. It makes it so simple to do picture study with the little ones. And we found it to be a good resource. It's the Come Look With Me series. Okay, another series that we used very early on were the ones by Lucy Micklethwaite. And I used a couple of these books. My favorite was The Child's Book of Art. But there are several different ones. There's one about like art, religious art or something. There's a couple different ones, but there are also free printable questions, which I will link in this video, that you can just print out to go with this book. It is such a fun book. It's super simple. I think this might have been the book we used in the very beginning, like the first art book I ever used when my kiddos were pre-K, kindergarten, maybe even first grade. And it's just so easy to use. It's probably at your library if you want to check into it first. And each section is little art things or art pictures that are by category. Okay, so like an animal or babies or children or whatever, families. And like I said, there's free printable questions. So if you are just completely lost and new to picture study, this makes it so simple. And this is what I did, honestly, with my oldest kids when they were very small. And it just gets them into that routine of looking at things, using their brain to not just look, but truly look, at something, and to start using that to recognize famous pictures, because when they see them later, they may have already seen them in this book if you did this book when they were very small, and then when you study them in depth later, they'll recall that. And so it's just a very good way to introduce them. And like I said, there are free printable questions linked below, so you can go find those. I didn't make them, I just printed them and used them, so I'm going to share them with you guys. Another one was The Usborne, which I think is called Paper Pie now. I don't like Usborne, or I guess now they're Paper Pie. I don't like them as much as I used to, because they started having a lot of things that followed the liberal agenda with gays and we call it the alphabet agenda. I've done many videos on it, and I just quit buying their stuff. But I do like some of their nonfiction stuff before they got into like the environmental weird stuff and all this other things. I did like some of their nonfiction things, and I liked them. Yeah, there were certain ones, like they have some good stuff still that they had put out way back, but they have a set of cards, art cards, that you can get. I think you can still get them, and you can probably find them used. Even on Facebook, there's all those homeschool used curriculum websites and groups. But we bought them, and I will caution you, I think there's 1 or 2 in the box that have nudity in the art, and we do not promote that in our home. So that is something I want to caution for, but you can just take those cards out and throw them out, or just not use them, whatever. But I like them because you can throw them in your basket. Like at that time we used them for a tea time, and we had a little basket that I would set at the table, and they always had these art cards in it, and I would just pull one out and we'd pass it around. It's easy to pass around because it's not the whole book. So that was good. And it's just the card size, so it was simple for the kids to hold. And I liked it because the back of the card had information that I could read. I think it even had questions I could ask. It was just really thorough, and I liked that. And it was very short and easy and quick, and it wasn't something that I had to put a lot of time or thought into. I just bought the cards and stuck them in our basket, and whatever card was next is the one we did. So it was very simple. I did that probably when they were about 2nd grade-ish, maybe. Okay, I found some other resources around that same time. I also did Usborne Art Treasury. I do like this one because it studies a picture, a painting. You can even go further and study more paintings by that particular painter or artist. And then the next page shows you how to create it, or create something in a similar style. And I absolutely love that, because that is part of picture study, is learning about those styles and recreating them. So I did really like this one. We did several from this book, and I really enjoyed it. The kids enjoyed it. Okay, another one that we really enjoyed when they were really young was Art Masterpieces to Color. We used this one because all of the paintings are in there. So if you were already studying a painting, then it had them in there as like a coloring page. I would make copies of them, and then the kids could paint them. I did them on cardstock so that they were a little more durable for watercolors, and it worked perfect. Okay, another one that I saw, but I actually haven't used this one, but it does look like something that I would buy and I would use, so I wanted to point it out to you guys, is the DK Visual Encyclopedia, The Arts. Again, you may need to look for things that might have nudity that are unacceptable in your home, but I do love the DK books, and I love the way they're done. They're so interesting. The kids find them interesting. They're fun to look at, and I figured that would just be one to have out for the kids to just enjoy, as long as you pre-screen it, because I have not. So, and a second one that I saw by DK was the Children's Book of Art. So both of those look like they're going to be promising, good picks. Like I said, I haven't used either of these, but not because I wouldn't use them, but because I just don't have them. So anyway, I wanted to point them out to you guys because they are things that I would consider buying for our own children. So now, what are we using currently? I'm going to tell you guys. Right now, we are using picture study resources from Ambleside. It is so easy. You can go, they have 3 terms per year. It's already set up, and you can even go back to previous years and find ones if the ones in the current year are not the ones you want to do. And then on their website, they have a link to a place called A Humble Place. It's another website. And on there, you can actually print out copies of these prints. So that is what we did this year. That is where we got them for our morning time binders. I put the picture for picture study in all of our morning time binders. I have a whole video about how morning time binders work, so I will link that. And I also print one out and put it up in our house, and then we have it available to use and utilize. And this is where I get them, from A Humble Place, which is linked from Ambleside. And You know, Ambleside, I love the choices they have, but sometimes they're not quite what I'm looking for. So you can easily select from previous years a different artist. If the current ones that are on there for the current year, you might just want to start making a list so that you don't repeat them and you don't get confused. But yeah, it's a good resource. So that is what we are doing currently in our home, are the resources from there. And you know, we may pull out some of these older ones. Right now, a lot of our stuff is in storage, so it's a little tricky. But when we move, we may pull out some of these others, or we may get them from the library and utilize them as well, especially with my littler kids, because they're good. They're good, and they're quality resources. So I just wanted to pass that out to you guys. So I hope this video was helpful. These are the simple picture study resources for busy moms, because mamas, we are busy, all of us, and we don't have time to find all of this on our own, but I've done it for you so you can just use the ones we found. Thank you guys for watching. If you haven't already, do subscribe and go back in the description of this video if you want to check out the previous video that I showed you step-by-step how to do picture study, if you're interested in that as well, or any of the other videos in the playlist. Check them out, and I will catch you guys next time.